You do not have to have a degree in order to peep the scam. Okay? Listen to this travesty. My God.
Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the.
Now, I know that a lot of my conservative peers believe that Jasmine Crockett is so dumb. But honestly, I don't believe that she is dumb. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that she think you dumb. That's what I believe. And more so, I think that she believes that brown and black people are the dumbest of the dumb. Because if you just listening at her so you could hear her tell off Trump or tell off Elon Musk or to clap back or say something ridiculous, some type of joke that you can get a good off of, then it went over your head. And I really feel sorry for you. I really do. Now let me break down the ebonics for you, also known as the scam. Number one, make them feel like they're missing something. Saying, well, you could afford a house if you allowed the illegal immigrants to flood into the United States of America. Then you'll have enough of them. Mass production of houses could take place because they're cheap. You know, we can get them for cheap labor. And then the houses will be built faster as well. So you won't have to pay too much, for your house if you allow that. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Then your grocery prices, they're high because you didn't allow the illegal immigrants to flood into the United States of America so they can go out there in them fields and pick your crops. So if you don't have enough strawberries at the grocery store, that affects the cost because you're not getting the production. Yeah. What? Y'all didn't know I was smart? Hell yeah. I'm not just book smart, I'm street smart. And you need to be more street smart than book smart when you're dealing with Jasmine Crockett and people that think like her, i.e. that Democratic Party. Last but not least, we need those illegal immigrants to flood our country because when you stand at the Holiday Inn, if your room not ready in time to check in by 3, 4 o'clock, it's because the illegal immigrant wasn't allowed into the country in order to make up your bed. Or to be in the back cooking your food. Yeah, that's what she's saying. In other words, allow the illegal immigrant in illegally so they could do all these things cheaply. Heavy on the cheap. Let me get my vocabulary right. Illegal migrant, not immigrant. Migrant. See, that's where they're trying to get you at. But these are illegal migrants because they have an intent of not doing it the right way. They have no intent on ever becoming an immigrant. They want to be a migrant, stay here illegally, but reap all the benefits that you receive off your tax dollars. Let me wrap this up, okay? I'm wrapping this up for the woke black and brown person that's sitting in the back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? You ought to be offended. You ought to be offended. She made that little comment about we ain't picking cotton. Well, you can't pay us enough to get to no plantation. What she's saying is the illegal migrant is the new slaves, in my opinion. Because you pay them very cheaply, very cheaply. And a part of having the American dream is to be paid fair labor, not slave labor. The Democratic Party was the party of slaves. Oh yeah, y'all know that, right? And it was never no big switch. They always was a party of slaves. They tried to keep their slaves. That's why we had that little civil war. That's what that was all about, the slavery and all that stuff. It was more than that, but we was a big part in that. Our ancestors, that is, because I was never a slave and never will be, but a slave to Christ. So she okay with illegal migrants flooding black and brown communities because that's where they're going to go. They're not going to go to her community. See, I heard that she have 3 houses. Yeah, that part, $174,000 a year. But she got 3 homes and she worth millions. Ain't got nothing to do with that law firm, baby. I already checked that out, okay? What's really going on? They going to flood your communities. Ask them people in Chicago about it. Ask them people in Chicago about it, how angry they are, okay? They reaping all these benefits that you can't get when you in need. You think about that. Have you ever been in need of some assistance and you couldn't get it because you made just a little bit too much, like right on the border? They can get it just by simply coming on through the illegal port of entry. It's wrong. And it's not putting Americans first. Now, President Trump said the other day in his cabinet meeting, he don't have any problem with immigration. He want them to come over legally. And you should want them to come over legally. You shouldn't just want people crossing the border like a herd of cattle. There are no failed immigration laws, but the ones that Jasmine Crockett, Joe Biden, and everybody, Kamala Harris, and all them that they didn't keep. There were immigration laws on the book. There are immigration laws on the book. They didn't keep them. They disregarded them. They just opened up the border and let them come flood on in. And they said to what you had to say. They didn't care about you. They were sleeping in luxury hotels, getting food stamps, getting Medicaid, something that you probably applied for and you can't even get. Y'all gonna sit there and y'all gonna allow this girl to run a scam on y'all? Why do you think she cares so much about illegal immigrants? Why do you think? Jasmine Crockett is doing her job for the Democratic Party, but she's not doing her job for the American citizens, and she darn sure not doing her job for TX30. Now, I know they're going to have these black chicks in the comment section that love Crockett so much. Well, I'm rocking with Crockett. I'm rocking with her because she tail off Trump, because I like her eyelashes, because I just like the way she speaks. She's so smart. If she's so smart, why are you still broke? She is smart. That's why she rich, and you ain't. God bless.